All right, back on the Young Turks. Look, Anna, I'm a little depressed today because that sellout Obama had on the tax loophole was really, it's terrible. And he's done nothing on the Israeli settlements. So I'm getting a little disillusioned. Now, he can rescue everything, and I give him an enormous buy on all that and say, give the guy a chance if he can actually get the public option passed. Because if he gets it passed, then I say, all right, look, he's got a different way. It's going to take a little while, but everybody be patient. But if he's, like not doing these other things, and he doesn't get the public option passed.
Then what, yeah, exactly. If he doesn't get the public option passed, what has he done for the people who voted for him?
Okay, but you're going in the wrong direction here. Okay.
Why am I going in the wrong direction? You're going in the wrong direction.
No, I'll tell you why.
Why?
Okay, because I'm depressed and you need to help me.
No,
okay.
This is the truth. Look, the one thing that I like about us, and it's something that I really want the audience to understand, we're not going to be Obama ass-kissers because we're considered progressives, okay? We're going to point to the truth. We're going to say what we really think. His policies have not been what we expected them to be when we voted for him, and it is what it is. So
let me add one last thing to that before we go on to fun stuff and cheer everybody up, including me, most importantly me. You won on that policy. So what's the harm in doing it? That's what people voted for you for. I mean, isn't it? I mean,
because it's about the money, Lebowski.
I know, but wait a minute, though. But you won, raising money from small donations, too. And, I mean, that was a strategy that helped you to win. So what's wrong with it? Just apply it. Now, I know. You're right. It's about the money, Lebowski. But you know what? And this is another promise I want to make to you guys. We have to understand Washington better. Because, I mean, we break it down every single day, and it always comes back to the money. But the problem is, I don't think we have a good enough grasp of why the money matters so much, right? Because shouldn't it be that in the end, it's the votes that get you elected, right? But I know that the money buys you the ads, et cetera, and that I know how a senator with a lot, or even a congressman with a lot of money can crush somebody with no money because then that other person's voice isn't heard. I know all that stuff. But why does it matter so much to Obama, who's already been elected president of the United States of America and could easily raise enough money without any lobbyists or any corporations next time around to win re-election? And I know it has to do with the way the Democratic Party is and how he's got to get money to those guys and not just to himself. But we're missing something in there about why money, of course I know money's important, but it's more important than even we realize. And there's some magic to it,
But it's a lot easier to have one corporation or, one company like AIG just give you one mass lump sum of money than go through all the trouble of, grassroots and getting small donors to add up to the amount of money you can easily get from one corporation.
No, I know. And the perfect example of that is Eric Massa, who actually won and became a congressman in the 29th District of New York. He's been on the show many times. But he had to bust his ass raising every nickel and dime to be able to piece together enough money that his Republican opponents had from the corporations, right? So I know how that works, but there's some, because guys go in to work in politics, like Democratic politics, for example, and they're not bad guys. They're good guys. They go and work on the staff of people like Senator Baucus and Senator Schumer, et cetera. But at some point, they get converted into lobbyists. And somehow, then they capture the offices that they were in. And that's a huge part of it. And I don't think we've delved into that enough. All right, anyway, JR, one last thing on
this. Just, I guess, I don't know. Nobody knows what type of person he really is. Maybe it has little to do with money, as you were just saying. Why would money affect him? As you always say, you think he's this perfect, or not perfect, but constant politician. He's always trying to be on every side of everything. He's trying to please everybody. He's one of those people, maybe, we're guessing here, doesn't want anyone to be unhappy with him. Doesn't want anyone to be like, you messed that up. So he's like, okay, I got you. Oh, I got you. I can make all this happen at the same time. He's probably a perfectionist too. Who's like, I bet you I can do all this. So when you guys start giving me pressure, I'm gonna go, shut up. Oh, you guys on the right are gonna like me for that, aren't you? And then when they start getting on him, he's going, shut up. And then everybody's like, oh, Obama's fighting. He thinks he's balancing the act constantly. He pisses us off, then he gives us a little bit. Then he pisses off, then he gives him a little bit. Back and forth. So he's like, I can cruise through 4 to 8 years, and maybe I can get something done too. Everybody gets a little bit of everything. I'm not a progressive president. I'm not a conservative president. I'm a president.
Right.
He's trying to be perfect, and it's not gonna. I don't know.
And if that is what he's trying to do, in the process of doing so, he's not getting anything accomplished. So right now, no one's happy with him. The Republicans are always going to hate him. I mean, he wanted to do something as simple as bringing the Olympics to the United States, and they hated him. Okay? And right now, since he's not listening to his voters, since he's not listening to the Democrats, they're starting to hate on him too. So he's not getting anything accomplished.
Yeah, no, I know. And look, I think JR hits on an important point. And then it's, I heard Bill Cosby say it first, but there's a very famous quote everybody says. The one way that you make sure that to be a failure, I don't know, I think Cosby originally said when I first heard it, I don't know which way how it is to be a success or what you have to do to be a success, but I know what you have to do to fail. That's try to please everybody, right? And if that's the route Obama's taking, he's got to realize, I mean, look, this is something that everybody's known for a long, long time. If you try to please everybody, it's never going to work, right? And those guys, the bankers, can put a hell of a lot more pressure on people than we can, honestly. Mm-hmm. So if he goes to try to please them, we're fucked. So, I mean, he's got to know who elected him. Anyway, okay. But I also don't want to be too tough on him. It is only 9 months. Et cetera, et cetera. So we have to try to remain reasonable as we're frustrated, right?
Right.
Okay.
You know what? Speaking about the fact that he's only been in office for 9 months, right? It reminded me of something that conservatives always say about him. They always said when it came to his Peace Prize, oh, he's only been in office for 9 months. That's not even enough time to do anything. How can they give him that prize, right? But then at the same time, they say, oh, he's been in office for 9 months. What has he achieved? What has he accomplished? Nothing.
And not just that, but that apparently he's responsible for the economic collapse that happened before his presidency.
Right.
He's responsible for unemployment. He's responsible for all those things. Mm-hmm. So good enough to be responsible for everything that's gone wrong in the last 9 months, mm-hmm. but not good enough to be responsible for anything that's gone right. So, of course, we don't want to fall in that trap of what conservatives do, right? And that's totally unreasonable. But at the same time, you got to push the guy in the right direction.
Right, exactly.
Because right now he's doesn't seem to be headed in right enough direction. Let's put it that way. All right, so let's try to have some fun.
Okay. You know what? I have the perfect video for you that will begin the fun. Okay. All right? Mr. Bucket. Mr. Bucket commercial, best commercial ever. I grew up watching this commercial, didn't realize how perverted it was until today.
Mr. Bucket, bring on the fun.
Mr. Bucket.
That's right. I'm Mr. Bucket. I'm Mr. Bucket. Toss your balls in my top. I'm Mr. Bucket. Out of my mouth I will pop. I'm Mr. Bucket. We're all gonna run. I'm Mr. Bucket.
The game's Mr. Bucket. The first to get their balls into Mr. Bucket wins, but look out, because the balls will pop out of his mouth.
I'm Mr. Bucket. The balls pop out of my mouth. I'm Mr. Bucket. A ball is what I'm about. I'm Mr. Bucket. We're all gonna run. I'm Mr. Bucket.
Mr. Bucket from Milton Bradley.
Buckets of fun.
I would have never realized that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm telling you. I saw
Who as a kid would think, oh, balls popping out of his mouth? But now I know that's actually not Mr. Bucket, it's Mr. Beck. He's spitting Rush Limbaugh's balls out of his mouth.
Buckets of fun.
He's like, oh, this country owes a debt of gratitude to Rush Limbaugh. I owe a debt of gratitude to Rush Limbaugh. I could have been nothing without him. Mr. Beck, he spits conservative balls out of his mouth. All right, sorry.
Okay, let's get to some real stories.
Okay, go.
My girl Tyra.
Okay.
All right. Forbes magazine has named her as the top earning woman in primetime. So her talk show, the Tyra Banks Show, has gotten her at least, how much money did she make? She made $30 million this year, and that is with America's Next Top Model and with her talk show, The Tyra Show. She's also lost a little weight. She's looking a little sexy.
She does look very good in those pictures. She always looked good, but she looks even better in those pictures. Honestly, I'm surprised by how, now this is going to sound funny, how little money that is. Because, I mean, obviously $30 million is a ginormous amount of money, but I thought she'd make more. Because I thought those daytime shows made like an insane amount of money. Like, maybe in the hundreds of millions. So I'm surprised with all those shows, she's only at $30 million. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine a day where you're only making $30 million a year? Jesus. All right, who's number two?
Okay, number two is Katherine Heigl. She made $18 million for her television work on Grey's Anatomy.
See, now that's a lot of money, because she's just one of the actresses on that show. And, I mean, that doesn't require anywhere near the time that Tyra puts into all those shows, including her daily show where she's the host. And by the way, this isn't really fair at all because these are the primetime people that are getting paid the most. If you included the daytime, Oprah crushes everybody, right? And Judge Judy, I think, crushes everyone else after Oprah. Now, so you're taking the daytime numbers of Tyra and also putting it with the primetime numbers. So that's not really too fair. Okay, so your girl is cheating a little bit.
No, she's not cheating. Okay. $30 million is a lot of money. Let's move on.
All right.
So,
okay, give me the rest of the list.
No. The rest of the list is kind of irrelevant. I mean, all right, Eva Longoria is at number 4. Then there's a bunch of people I don't really know. Number 6 is Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Tina Fey is at number 8. Number 10 is what's interesting to me. The number 10 top earning woman is Jennifer Love Hewitt. What?
$6 million for the Ghost Whisperer. Isn't that amazing? That's a lot of money for a Ghost Whisperer, man. I mean, that does okay, right? It's not bad.
You know what? I'm proud of her. Good for her.
All right, good for you, Jennifer.
No, the paparazzi was giving the poor girl a hard time about her weight. She lost the weight. Now she's making some money. Boom, boom, pow.
Boom, boom, pow. Okay, she's always been making a lot of money. By the way, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is from an enormously wealthy family. And so she's like, I think her family has billions or something. And so she's making $8 million a year on top of all the Seinfeld money she made. Now, she earns it, and that's television, and that's the business she's in, and she played it smart. But you're like, man, you so didn't need that money. All right. But, hey, God bless. Bless God. Bless the gays. Bless Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And then the one last thing on this is the girls from Desperate Housewives. Eva Longoria making $9 million. Marsha Cross making $6.2 million. They're all making a lot of money, man. And Terry Hatcher isn't even on the list. So they pay a lot of money for that show. I hope it pays off for them. TV's still got great money. That's for damn sure. All right.
Maybe we should go in the reality show direction. I mean, how awesome would it be to have people taping us as we're not doing the show?
That would be amazing. Then you say this
Can you imagine the producers? Because the producers have to create some sort of drama because we get along too well.
I know. So we get along perfectly well. There's no crime. And this is me the rest of the time that I'm not on the show. Would that make a great reality show? Oh, that's an interesting article. Print.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The producers will have to create some sort of drama between all of us. So I don't know. It'll be something crazy like JR and Jesus are having a secret relationship that.
Well, all right, now you went all over.
I don't know, like something crazy.
No. It'll be bullshit stuff like this, like, Jesus left me off his housewarming party list. I thought we were tighter than that, but all of a sudden, I've never even seen their house. Did I do something to Vanya? So what is this about?
People would love it.
No, it's terrible. Terrible reality show. No, seriously, that's funny you said that, because I figured out yesterday what we should do.
What?
You see, look, let me explain something to the audience. Life isn't fair. Do you know this? And if you have a chance to make money, even though it's not commensurate with, doesn't have the same kick that other fields should have. Sad day. Okay, make the money. Okay, so you know where the money is in television?
Where?
No, first of all, do you know where the money is in the world?
Sex?
Well, that's good. That's not a bad point. But no, Wall Street. So,
okay.
Like, if my nephews ask me, hey, I want to make a lot of money, right? Where should I go? Instantly, finance. Don't even think about it. Okay? If that's your objective. Now, it turns out they're good kids. That's not their objective. They want to do something that they like, etc. Not to say that if you're in finance, you're a bad person, right? But if you like finance, go, move forward. Because you're going to make so much more money there than you would in any other profession. It's grossly unfair, but knowing that, why wouldn't you do it, right? So now in television, you know where you make the most money is daytime television. Is it fair? Does it make sense? No. Who cares, right? So I was thinking because Wendy stayed at home for Columbus Day yesterday, right? Oh, I twittered about Wendy the other day.
I saw it. It was very cute.
Right, and then I got Twitters back saying
Yeah,
that's very schmoopy and
Yeah,
stuff.
from other girls. Yeah, I see. I'm watching them. They better keep their eye out.
Okay, just calm down. Just calm down. No.
Oh, Jake, that's so cute.
Okay,
You should Twitter more often.
You get out of here. No, they were saying it was cute that I was twittering about my wife. Anyway. So since she stayed home for Columbus Day, she was watching TV and she saw like 1 million Judge shows. So she's like seen half the Judge shows that you have.
Right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Right. And all those guys are super rich. Like Judge Judy is like insanely wealthy, right? I thought, like, I could be a good judge, right? Judge Jank, forget about it. Are you kidding me?
You have a camera up your nose.
I don't know about that.
Of course, I meant, but you get the point, right? Anyway, then I thought, no, I got it. Tyt Supreme Court on daytime television. Oh, we clean up. It's over.
But then,
It's over.
look, that makes complete sense to people who know who we are. But for people who don't know who we are, they're going to be like, who's this schmuck? Like, why do I care what he has to say?
Okay, wait, JR's going to step in. I have an answer to that, but
I know who the hell Judge Judy was. I know who Judge Joe Brown was. I know
who the hell is Judge Alex, right? I mean, we had him on the show.
But that's
Mel
the thing.
Beline.
No.
They all are no names. aren't
Judge
they?
Barron, Judge Nancy. I don't know who the hell. Yeah, we had him on the show. I'm still not sure I know who they
Okay,
are.
let me make a point. Those people have credentials. They're actual judges.
Oh, whatever. The TV doesn't care. They don't care at all.
Okay,
one of them
but-
was like a judge for like 6 months or something.
Okay, but then
I'm a lawyer. Good enough.
Okay.
And they're not real. As soon as they sign a TV contract, they're not judges anymore. You know they're not real judges anymore. So it's not like we have to be judges and stay judges.
No. What does that mean? So their ruling doesn't really mean anything?
No, we had them on the show. We asked them this. The contestants agree that to have their case settled by this guy, even though he's no longer a judge. Okay, they're outside of the regular court system.
Yeah, I understand, but he's still a judge.
No, he's not. Technically, he's not. He's a retired judge.
Oh, whatever, Cenk, you're done. But
See, already we're having fun. You see this?
no. But I'm saying, like, they're gonna look back at our past and they're gonna say things like, Anna Kasparian, she's 23. She has
Perfect.
a degree in journalism. And,
Perfect. What are you talking about?
Political science.
Daytime television. You got a 23-year-old girl who's got a degree in journalism and a master's in political science. Sign her ass up, Justice Kasparian.
Oh, God. All right, fine. I'm buying it.
Look. How many of those judge shows are aimed towards the younger audience?
None of them?
I think 0. I think we're looking at Donut, right? I haven't said a word. I'm just saying. Put the word out. Okay. How good would the TYT Supreme Court be?
No, it would be so entertaining. I understand that. But the whole
And
problem
look, you
is
say-
capturing an audience that is not familiar with us.
No. Capturing the audience is 0 problem. Look at what we did on YouTube. From 0 to, we average 500,000 views a day on YouTube, on our channel. The other day we hit 719,000 views. All those sons of bitches have billboards all over the country, right? They are on buses, they're on this, they're on that. We had 0 advertising budget, and we still captured that audience.
Right.
That's not the thing to worry about. The thing that you have to capture in the beginning is, unfortunately, TV executives who will be like, I don't get it. What? You got 500,000 on the internet, but that's the internet. I don't get it. Hey, listen, dude, I'm getting more people on the internet with 0 advertising, okay, than you are on television with all of your advertising. I don't get it. What's there not to get, okay? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I see what you're
Are
saying.
you kidding me? You put the TYT Supreme Court on daytime television. We clean up. Why? Look, give me 18 months and we're taking a run at Oprah.
I don't
Okay.
know.
No, I know. I'm getting crazy. But I mean, look, there's only 3 people that I compete with if we go on daytime television. Okay. I know I'm going nuts here, but Oprah, Judge Judy, and Ty. Those are our only competition. Everybody else, we bulldoze. Yeah, who's going to stand in the way? Would you? I mean, I love you, Judge.
Dr. Oz.
Look, Judge Alex, I love you. You were on the show. You're a good guy. Not happening for you.
No, I know. And I don't even know what time Judge Alex airs anymore. I don't think he's on TV anymore.
Look, we're a steamroller. Come on. Anyway, go ahead. Dr. Oz, look, this is going to prove my point even further. I'm going crazy. What's happening with Dr. Oz?
Dr. Oz is kicking ass in his ratings, okay? His show is doing extremely well. Of course, he has Oprah promoting it, so that might be helping. But a lot of people are totally digging his show, and a lot of people think the reason why is Americans are more health conscious, so they're thinking that the topic of his show is appealing, and he's pretty sexy for an older guy.
All right, now how does this help my case that we're going to be awesome on daytime television? Dr. Oz is Turkish. I'm Turkish. We're made to be talk show hosts. But seriously, there's like 6 Turks in the whole country, and 3 of us are talk show hosts. Me, Dr. Oz, and Richard Bay. We're long-time talk show hosts on television, now on the radio. Isn't that the most random thing in the world?
That is random.
Okay, but I'm telling you, Turks are made for talk shows. Look at the rating success. I rest my case.
Right.
It's over. It's over. I don't even want to discuss it. Okay, anyway, seriously, I saw that and I thought, way to go, Dr. Oz.
Were you proud for your Turkish people?
I was a little proud for him.
Yeah.
Because, I know him a little bit, so,
Right. Yeah, they hang out, on the weekends and stuff.
No, he actually operated on my uncle. And then I saw him at like some Turkish shindig or whatever, and I don't think he recognized me at all. I was like, oh, Dr. Oz, thank you so much, my uncle. He's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, he's a good guy, but he was like, I don't know who this guy is. His wife was very nice. All right. Let's wrap it up. We'll come right back. Young Turks.
From here, when will they stop? I believe that fate.
All right, back on the Young Turks. Look, we got a lot of stories. We got a motor. We got to get to all of them. One quick thing before we do. Look, I need everybody to go nominate us for the podcast awards. I'm not messing around anymore, okay? It's right, if you go on theyoungturks.com, it's right in the middle. All you have to do is click it, right? And it's right next to the screen. It says, nominate the Young Turks for the podcast awards in the politics section and people's choice. So go ahead and do that. Go nuts. Let's get the nomination so that more people can hear about the show, okay? Move forward. Go forward.
Okay. 62-year-old man in Florida accidentally shot his fiancée one day before they were about to get married. He thought that she was an intruder and accidentally shot her. His name is John Tabut.
Oh, no. Okay. Now, at first I thought they were young, and I was like, schwang, wang, wang. I don't know if I believe this story about, I accidentally shot her. Yeah. And then you find out what their age was.
Yeah, he's 62 years old, and she was also 62.
See, and then you read more of the details, and the cops say, oh, no. I mean, this guy seems as sincere as possible. He was devastated. And they have the call of him on 911 saying, oh, my God, I thought it was an intruder. I thought she was lying next to me in bed. And then he thinks for a second that she's going to, come back that
he thought that he heard her breathe.
Right, and he's like, honey, stay with me. Now, he could be a great actor, right, et cetera, and they should investigate it fully. Now, having said that, it's a devastating, heartbreaking story. They were going to get married, over the weekend, right? Mm-hmm. And he seems to have loved her so much, et cetera. Now, I'm going to be the dick. This is why you don't have guns in your house, okay? Oh, no, I'm going to keep you safe. There ain't no intruders. The chance of an intruder is incredibly low. Does it happen? Of course it happens. Yes, there are intruders in the world, right? But the chance that you accidentally shoot your fiancé is so much higher. Don't have guns in the house. It's not going to help you. 9 out of 10 times it's going to hurt you. Look, I hate to be a downer about it, but you can't, it's like you think, oh, no, I'm going to be a tough guy. I got this thing. I got it covered, etc. You're just going to wind up shooting someone you love, and then you're going to be devastated like this.
Yeah, he said that he thought that she was laying beside him the entire time. So he didn't even know that she was out of the bed.
Yeah. I mean, how do you see, this is what I'm talking about. How do you shoot first? Can't do it.
I feel you. I mean, you can attack somebody that you think is in your house, but at least you'd only beat up his fiancée,
Yeah. I mean, even if you had a bat, Jesus, she'd recover, But with a gun, you don't recover a lot of times. Okay, and that's it. All right, on to fun times.
God, such a sad story. Okay. Kate Gosselin has contacted her attorney because John Gosselin took $230,000 out of a joint account that they had together. Now John has to return $180,000. This is why married people should not have joint accounts. I am against it 100%. It's not allowed.
I got 2 things out of this story. One, man, this dude is shameless. He's just like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Just snatched it, right, and ran. He's like, oh, joint account. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take all of it. I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put it in my pocket, right? So without conferring with anybody, etc. I mean, maybe he thought he'd lose it in the divorce. Strike first. I don't know, but it seems kind of dicey to say the least. Number two, they had a lot of money in that joint account. I mean, there are a lot of families sitting around with $232,000 in their joint account when they got 8 kids. That TV cheddar tastes good. So that's why they pimp out the kids and they do all that they do, because that's the kind of money they got just sitting around in their joint account. I mean, think about that, right? That's not even, as far as I can tell, that's not even invested. It's certainly not in real estate. It's not. It doesn't appear to be in stocks.
Cold hard cash.
Cold hard cash is lying in your joint bank account. Oof.
That'd be really fun.
Oh, could you imagine? You know, I once read a story, and I forget if it was Nirvana or Guns N' Roses, but some rock band, they're like, look, we used to have like $18 in our bank account, and then we hit it big, and it just kind of happened, not overnight, but almost like it was overnight. And then one day I went to my ATM, and it said like $180,000 or something. And he's like, well, that can't be right. And then he's like, holy shit, I have $180,000 in my ATM, in my bank account. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That'd be an amazing feeling. I feel like I would never experience that.
One day. Once we get the TYT Supreme Court on daytime. Think about it. All right, what's next?
We have an incredible story about a woman named Michelle Mack. She was born with half a brain. The left side of her brain is completely missing due to a stroke that she had pre-birth. All right, so she had a pre-existing condition before she was born.
Oh, she's done for. Nobody's going to cover her.
Right.
By the way, though, half your brain missing, that actually is a pre-existing condition.
Huge.
Okay, I got to be honest about that.
What's incredible about this story, though, is the fact that the right side of her brain rewired itself to do all of the tasks that the left side of her brain would normally do.
Yeah, and people, and previously scientists and doctors didn't think that that was necessarily possible, right? But she's learned a lot of things that that normally, you know, the other side of the brain would do. Not all, and then some of the stuff that her right side exists, right?
Her right side exists.
Right.
Yes.
Some of the things that her right side used to do have also suffered because she's using that space for some of the things that her left side used to do. But she gets around, she talks, you know, and she goes to work, she does data entry, and she's fully functional. And you know, and they didn't even know what was wrong with her until she was 27 years old.
Right. They went and got an MRI scan, and they're like, holy crap, half her brain is missing.
Isn't that amazing? And, you know, I when I see parents like that, I think that they're angels. I really do. I mean, and she's 37 years old and still living with her parents, and you can tell they love her to death.
I know. Let's listen to her a little bit.
That will be on a Sunday.
When Michelle was born, her parents knew something was wrong, but it took years for doctors to figure
now
it out.
that didn't do her justice because she can speak fairly well.
Yeah,
normally.
she can.
The prognosis, she would live, but her life would be limited.
There wasn't a group I could turn to. Michelle didn't have cerebral palsy, I knew that. She didn't have Down syndrome, I knew that. And I had no place to turn because the doctors themselves had said, whatever you've got, and that's it.
It was very hard for me growing up because no one knew the truth about my brain.
When Michelle was 27,
see, that was very lucid.
It's amazing. She seems very articulate, you know, and according to CNN, the only thing that she really has a trouble with is visual spatial processing.
Right, if she's new to a place, she can get lost fairly easily. When you see the scan of her brain, literally half of it is not there. Look, there it is. Just not there. That's amazing. Okay. Anyway, goes to show you, man, how people adapt. And life is a strong thing. Believe in life.
All right. A mysterious halo cloud appeared in Moscow.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We have an actual alien alert. Okay.
Right.
Now, I want to see the video here because I've been reading a lot about this, but I haven't seen the video yet.
Okay.
I want to watch it all together here and see if we really got an alien situation on our hands here. Oh, it's over. It's over. Wait a minute, now that's seriously freaky. That's real.
I mean, it's scary, yeah, but there's no way that's a supernatural phenomenon or something.
That no aircraft in the area, etc. That's been talked about already. Oh, it's over. They're here. Why'd they go to Moscow, man? We're number 1. Okay, we're number 37 in healthcare, but come on.
Okay, let's be real. So a spokesperson from the city's weather forecast said several fronts have been passing through Moscow recently. There's been an intrusion. There's been an intrusion of Arctic air.
Oh, sure. Intrusion of Arctic air. It's been an intrusion of ET. That's what there's been an intrusion.
And the sun has been shining from the west. This is how the effect was produced.
Oh, sure. Of course. I see you. You Ruskies. Trying to hide it from us, huh? You got ET in the closet, and you won't let him out. Okay.
You know, I was watching Star Trek for the first time in my life last night because Liddy's forced me to. And who are we? Like, who are we to say that that type of behavior doesn't happen in a different galaxy?
Of course. This is what I talk about all the time. Is there extraterrestrial life? Obviously, there's overwhelming odds that there's life outside of this planet. Now, as I say, often, are they really going to get here? That's a different question. Are we going to get there? That's a different question. Are they going to come in the round spaceship and have the heads? Those are different questions. Have they already arrived? That's a different question. Maybe it got answered today.
You're such a nerd.
Look, obviously, if you think, in order for you to believe that there are actual aliens, there has to be overwhelming proof. I'm not saying it's not possible. And that was a cool, freaky little thing that was there right there. Now, you know what would be overwhelming proof? If out of that cool little freaky thing, an alien ship came down and landed. Then I go, oh, okay,
right.
I got you. All right, so until then, the jury's still out.
Yeah, I think I believe the meteorologists, though. They seem to know a little thing about weather and how clouds get produced.
Right. The only thing I'll say about that, look, I don't think it's really an alien spaceship, but is that once something happens, instantly somebody will find I don't want to say an excuse, but an explanation. Oh, well, of course, the sun was shining from the west, and then there was an Arctic thing, and then blah, 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 and then, okay. Like, do they even know what they're talking about? I don't think so. And I'll tell you what, though, if you were underneath that thing in Moscow, and it's not like it was, like, in nowhere. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like Timbuktu. Moscow's a place they could land. Right? I mean, it is one of the largest cities. So, like,
but aliens don't know what a large city is and what a suburb is, or.
Of course they do. They got here. They know a hell of a lot more than we do.
Hey, I'm just telling you. I'm not gonna be on any side of this, but how do we know what aliens know if we don't know what aliens are?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking to you, Ed.
No. Why would they not know what the larger cities are? They got all the way here. That's some pretty good technology they got going on.
No, I'm not buying it. How would an alien distinguish between a big city and land is land? Land looks like land.
No, there's all those lights and all those people. Come on. You're not doing
the
non-existent aliens justice.
This is the problem. And Anna's assuming that the aliens are primitive life forms that just go, land. It will just kind of land wherever they see something. Why can't they be smarter than us?
If there's
such a thing.
If they got here, they're so much smarter than us.
I can't believe we're having a debate about aliens.
That's my point. Ridiculous. No, that's my point. We can't have a debate about aliens because it's an idea right now.
That was a great point. You're right.
So how are you gonna say, but they can't do it? How do we know what they will do? Because we don't know what the hell these things are that we're making up right now.
You're right.
Oh,
okay, we have a concession. Thank God.
No, we don't.
Okay, she's just trying to move on. I know. All right, look, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break. And then, are we going to do the cutest baby costumes when we come back?
Yeah, but I want to talk about Zachary Christie, who thinks it's okay to bring a knife to school.
Oh, yeah, zero tolerance. Oh, this has got us worked up. It might even involve the Tyt Supreme Court. Put some thought behind it. Right back, Young Turks. All right, back on the Young Turks. Time to thank some members real quick. Member number 2006 is Zaid Ali. And he joined up on August 31st of 2009, so very, very recently. And then member number 2010 is Michael Carter. And he joined up very recently as well, right around the same time. So Zaid and Michael, you rock the world. Members make the Young Turks go around, and we couldn't do the show without you. Furthermore, you get the whole 3-hour show podcast it or do a video download, watch it on your TV, listen to it in your car. Who doesn't want that? Plus, you get the members-only post-game shows. You know what's happening today? Somebody has sent in a question which is perfect for what we were discussing. It's about Star Trek.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool.
Which Star Trek technology would you most like to have? Including a phaser, warp drive, a replicator, a holodeck. Okay? We'll explain what these are if you're not familiar with them. And then it's a great question I can't wait to answer. Yes, Chair? What happened? The mic bit you? Oh, the mic doesn't work for all of a sudden. All right, we'll get that fixed soon. Okay, now, one other thing that... Oh, and I want to do the sports stories, too. It ain't over till it's over. We got a perfect case of that today. We'll do that in the post game. And then hate mail. We'll read hate mail towards the Young Turks during the post game for the members only. All right, let's move forward.
Okay, let's get to Zachary Christie's story. He's a 6-year-old from Delaware. He basically took a pocket knife to school. It's a utensil, a camping utensil that could be used as a knife, a fork, and a spoon. Okay, so he took this utensil to school, and when school officials saw it, they decided to take action against him. Okay, they have, of course, schools have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to weapons, especially after all the school shootings and everything. So because of this, he now faces 45 days in the district's reform school.
Reform school. I don't know what that's like, but that doesn't sound good. Oh, well, look at this guy. No wonder he totally deserves it. This guy looks like a thug, straight up, okay? I mean, this guy's going to cut everybody up in that school.
Look, here's the thing, okay? I don't agree with the zero tolerance policy. I think it's ridiculous, right? You have to have some judgment on a case-by-case basis, okay?
Yes.
That being said, you can't bring a knife to school. I mean, I don't think that he should spend 45 days in a reform school. I don't think he should spend any time in a reform school. But there definitely needs to be some consequences so the 6-year-old understands that it's not okay to bring a knife to school. Even if he does it, even if he brings it without the intention of hurting someone else, he could accidentally hurt someone else. Or someone else can accidentally use that and hurt other students. So, yeah, he needs to know that it's wrong. The problem that I have with this story is his mother and everybody is saying, oh, you know, this kid did nothing wrong. It's all about, you know, these school policies. These school policies are wrong. So this little 6-year-old boy is walking around thinking, yeah, bringing knives to school is okay. It's not me that did something wrong. It's the stupid school with their stupid policies that are doing something wrong.
Here comes the hanging judge again. That's unbelievable. All right, now look, other parts of the story are that a girl whose grandmother sent in a birthday cake, sent it in with a knife to cut the cake. Then this is my favorite part of the story. They cut the cake and eat it, and afterwards the teacher tells the principal, and then they suspend the student.
Yeah, and that see,
No, you don't get to eat your cake and have it too. Okay,
right.
That's not right.
And that particular story, I 100% disagree with. And like I said...
But it's zero tolerance. Zero tolerance is zero tolerance.
I said in the beginning that I don't agree with the zero tolerance policy. However, students need to be aware that they shouldn't be allowed to bring guns as well, but knives.
Yes, that I agree with.
Or any type of weapon to school.
But you see, that's an excellent point right there, because with a gun, it's fairly unambiguous. Like if you bring a gun to school, it's not like you were going to cut the cake with the gun. Right? Well, I was going to shoot it a couple of times and stuff. Or I thought this was a cool thing I found in Boy Scouts. No guns. Right? That's obvious. But there's 100 different things that a knife could be used for, like cutting food. Right? So that's where the problem comes in. And the problem comes in when they get expansive. We did another story where they say no weapons, and they suspended a girl who had a Tweety chain. They're like, hey, it's a chain, chain's a weapon, you're gone.
I know. And that's usually what happens when the country experiences some sort of crisis, right? All these school shootings happen, and of course the response is to over-exaggerate.
Look, let's get reasonable here. First of all, zero tolerance has a good and a bad reason behind it, okay? The good reason behind it is when they let people use judgment, they usually screw it up. And what they realized is that it gets applied, the policy against bringing quote-unquote weapons to school gets applied to minority students at disproportionate rates than white students. But it's not a little disproportionate, it's grossly disproportionate. Like in some cases, 2 to 3 times as much applied to minority students. Then you go, oh, okay, yeah, I see what the problem is, right? But the bad side of doing zero tolerance is you can't remove human judgment from things. And if you do, it's partly being lazy. It's taking a shortcut. Instead of fixing the problem, and even if it's discrimination, then the problem is discrimination. And how you apply it, you should recognize it, and that's actually probably just only one indication of a larger problem you have, and address that problem. Burying it and then, and going over it just by calling zero tolerance, all right, then we won't use our mind at all, and we'll just ban everybody. Oh, that pen is kind of sharp. That's a weapon. You're all suspended. I mean, this can get ridiculous. No, that's why we have the capacity for judgment, and we should have administrators who can, put that into effect. So for this kid, look, obviously he shouldn't have brought it in. He got overzealous, but it's not a real knife. I mean, it's part of this camping thing, and we understand what the story is. Okay, teach him a lesson. You know what? You're suspended for it. You know what?
No, not even that.
2 days.
Not even that. I
Okay,
don't think the kid should even get suspended, because you get suspended. I mean, he's a 6-year-old, so it doesn't matter. But
it doesn't matter at all.
Suspension
that sends
is
the
still,
message perfectly fine.
I don't think suspension is a good disciplinary action, because you don't want to send kids out of school. You want them to get an education. Give them detention after school.
Look, if you said to me as a kid, what do you want? 2 days of suspension or 45 days of reform school? I'm like, suspension.
No. I understand that. I understand
and that's
that.
part of the problem, you were saying.
Yes, that is part of the problem. So instead, after class is over, he should spend more time in school in detention, and that's something that he's going to hate, but it works well in 2 different ways. I mean,
all right, you know what? We're going to have a deal here. We're going to work this out. A week of detention.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay, deal?
Yeah, deal.
Okay. 45 days in reform school. God knows what's going to happen there. I don't know how bad reform school is, but it doesn't sound pleasant. Okay? So,
maybe
go
I'm missing
ahead.
something. What happened to conversation and understanding? Oh, so little Johnny. I don't know why that's always the name.
In this case, it's Zachary.
Yeah,
little Zachary.
Little shit. You got a knife on this pocket thing that you brought in because you're trying to show off because you're happy about Boy Scouts. You can't bring that to school. You know this will hurt somebody. Take it home and don't bring it back anymore. Isn't that the end of the discussion? I don't understand the detention, the suspension, or any of that stuff, because I feel like detention should be for people who consciously are out to cause harm at school, and then they're going to learn their lesson and go, damn, I'm going to think twice before I do that messed up thing again, because then I'm going to get detention. He wasn't thinking. He wasn't going, I'm going to fuck somebody up.
Fuck somebody up. You see Zachary? He's 6. Anyway, no, I hear you, JR. But and that goes to the problem with these zero tolerance policies, which is that it's usually because people are lazy and scared, okay? And because if they don't take drastic action and then later something happens in that school, then they're going to get fired. And they don't want to get fired. That's 90% of the reason why anybody does anything at any job. They don't want to get fired. And that's why they have these. And that's why I don't like zero tolerance policies. In fact, I'm declaring right now, I have zero tolerance for zero tolerance policies. Think about it.
Okay, we have 2 minutes left, so we got to do the cute babies. We have to.
We have to.
Okay. Halloween's coming up. We have babies dressed in cute costumes. This story excites me. And
the story excites me.
Oh, look, she's dressed as a sushi.
Oh, shmoopy papoopy, that's okay.
Okay, no, go back. I have to explain it real quick. Her headband has wasabi and ginger on it.
Oh, that is cute. Okay, I didn't see that. I'll give you that one. But this shirt's just okay, if you ask me. But she's the white rice. It's cute. Don't get me wrong. Let's move forward. Kiss, that's, yeah.
Yeah, that did nothing for me.
Here's the problem. That Kiss was around like in 1978. The kid has no idea. I mean, like, for us, that's the equivalent of, like, dressing us up as, like, Fred Flintstone or something. I mean,
people do dress up like Fred Flintstone.
Oh, right. That's right. Okay, anyway, keep it going. Luke Skywalker inside that thing. Again, the kid has no idea, but nonetheless, it's cute.
Oh. Come on.
Oh, Colonel Sanders, super cutie patootie. Okay, I'll give you that one.
Oh, my favorite.
Oh, God, it's over. It's over. I totally have to give you this one. It's totally over. There's something wrong about it, because then it's spoiling the kid, right? But look at the kid. Look at the little eyes. This isn't the thing. It's the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life.
I love this picture.
All right, go forward.
I love this one, too.
This is what's that movie? Nacho Libre?
Nacho Libre. It's a little baby nacho.
That's awesome.
Oh, come on. That's too delicious.
Now that one creeps me out a little bit.
No, I like it.
It's no, I'm against that one. He's also not very mobile.
What about this one? Are you against this one?
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Well, it's not great, but it's fine. Oh, that one's cute. See, I favor the cute ones. That one's super cute. It says MJ, Michael Jackson?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. It's weak sauce. That one's a rocker.
You know what? I'm going to make a controversial statement. I honestly think Asian babies are the cutest babies.
We have a controversial statement.
No. That's just my personal taste. Every time I see an Asian baby, I can't help myself. I have to, like, stop and play with them for a little while.
I'm going to tell you a really funny story, even though we're out of time. My sister got us this postcard of a cute-looking Asian baby. And then she wrote in the back saying, like, oh, she read somewhere that if you keep looking at something like that, you're going to want to, go in that direction. So she put the card she made us put it in our bedroom. And every time I look at the cute little Asian baby, I go, that is really cute. Got to put some thought behind that. It's brilliant. Totally successful.
Yeah, that's a good move.
All right.
Do we have any more?
We've Stormtrooper, nicely done.
This one creeps me out.
Oh, no, this one's totally unacceptable, actually. Okay, this is with the alien coming out of her. No. And she looks like there's an alien coming out of her. She's like, what the hell's going on? What is this thing? I wouldn't have gone in that direction. All right, so in the conclusion of today's show, we have concluded that Asian babies are cute. We are just that controversial. All right, we'll see you in the postgame. Young Turks.